welcome to Tiffany Talks. My name is Tiffany, and today's guest we have is Miss Tiffany Richard. Hello, and welcome, Tiffany, to the show. Her story was very, very intriguing to me. Out of everyone who submitted their inquiry, yours really stood out. Your energy really stood out when I read it. And I was really interested in it because I feel like this is a really hot topic right now. And a lot of people sweep this kind of topic under the rug. And it's a sexual abuse, trauma, molestation. Molestation, for those who you don't know, is when someone or a predator touches you in an improper way. Usually it happens underage. And when I looked at the statistics of it and the rate of it is really increasing. There are a lot of people who are reporting it more than before than ever. And it's becoming at an alarming high rate. 1 out of every 6 American women who have been victims of molestation or rape, 3% of American are men. So 1 out of 33 have experienced this type of trauma and things like that. So I'm so excited to have you here for you to share your story, to let us know how you got through it, when did you realize the trauma, things like that. So tell us how your story began. And then, where did you come from, that story? What made you transition out of that trauma?
Okay, not a problem. And hello, everyone. My name is Tiffany Rain Richard. I am from Nebraska, and I'm back here now because I'm taking care of my mother. Well, it first began with my mother. The trauma did. As far as, because she never raised me or anything. So my grandparents took care of me at the time. And they would let me go over there on weekends, over to her house on weekends. So she was molesting me and my sister. And I just found out about my oldest daughter. I had a child at the age of 12, was pregnant at 11. And so that trauma it sent me on a downward spiral of fighting all the time, always angry. And as time progressed, as I got older, it was a family member, a guy, that my grandmother was married into, their family. He was molesting me from the time I was 7, all the way up until I was 11 years old. And my mother's brother.
So 1 second, again, Tiffany, so your molestation started with your mother and then it went into your grandmother's husband? Your grandmother's husband, right?
No. Let me rephrase that. My apologies. So my molestation started with my grandmother's husband's nephew when I was 7.
Okay.
And when I started when my grandparents allowed me to go over to my mother's house to stay all night on weekends, she was touching me in inappropriate ways. So that's where that all began. The guy started doing that to me first.
Okay, wow. And what was going through your mind at that age? Do you remember?
Honestly, the only thing I can remember is when he would make me do, acts that I didn't want to. I had a little Raggedy Ann doll that I just used to hold all the time. And when he would have me do those acts, I would just hold on to my Raggedy Ann doll. I don't quite remember exactly everything, but it was a couple times where I wanted to kill him. But I was too little, of course, because he was grown. So I was only 7 years old, and he was literally a grown man.
Yeah, and you must have felt really helpless, not protected. That's very sad, very sad situation, because I feel like as parents, as the mother and father job is to protect our daughters, is to protect our sons. And when that doesn't happen, you have a level of vulnerability now that you are exposed to. Tell me, did you ever report it to your family members or tell anyone?
the only time I reported it is after I got out of prison, and because I didn't understand why I even went to prison. But once I did the time, I was sentenced 2 to 4 on burglary charges, and I only did a total of 6 months altogether. But when I got out, the first place I went to was my mother, because that's where my healing started, is in prison for those 5 to 6 months. And so when I got out of prison, I went straight to her and I asked her, I told her, I said, "Do you want to know something?" And I told her, and when I told her, I said, I told her who was molesting me. It was her brother and the cousin at the time, touching on me. And I told her, and she looked me dead in my face and told me, she said, "The reason why he was doing it to you is because I did it to him." She never apologized to me. She never said, "Baby, I'm sorry that happened to you."
Oh.
Yep. Looked me dead in my face, and I couldn't do nothing, just cry. All I could do, and I'll never forget that day. Never. I just cried. I just cried. I bawled. I told her I hated her. I said, "Why did you even have me?" You know? And
Mm.
but yeah, so uh I didn't talk to her after that for a very long time.
Mm.
It took me years. Honestly, it took me all the way up until she got sick. Just recently. Uh
And you still are there taking care of her. Your mom is a monster.
and she turned the whole entire family against me. Literally. Nobody. And that's fine, because I've done this on my own since I was little. She took me from my grandmother and put me in foster care. She told me the reason why she did that was because she was jealous of our relationship. But she did not know that my grandmother was abusing me.
So your grandmother and your mother were abusing you.
Well, my grandmother was physically
Physically.
abusing me. Yes, because when I got pregnant at 11, didn't know I was pregnant. She literally tried to kill me.
Wow. So you were sexually, physically, and mentally abused.
Yes, always called fat. So I've never had a family dynamic. Even in foster care, I would always run away because I was like, I don't belong here. So Judge Buckley, I'll never forget her. She was one of the judges that believed in me and emancipated me at 14 years old. She helped me get a job at a hospital, local hospital here in Omaha, Nebraska, because at the age of 14, you can work with permission from the courts. And she gave me permission to work. And I stayed there all the way up until, because I was emancipated at 14. And I didn't quit that job. I didn't stop working at the hospital until I was 18.
Mm. Wow. What was it like for you, like a day in your life under, like, if you could remember? I want a good and a bad, because I feel like we have to also reflect on both. But give me a good time and a bad time of what your childhood, like what you can remember when it came to your childhood.
Well, before the molestation, because I can remember all the way back when I was little, my life was good, actually. My grandparents had a really, really huge house, and every weekend they threw parties. Every weekend they threw parties. You could see family members coming from all over, flying in. No one went to a hotel. They always came to my grandparents' house because it was that type of, it was always enough room. They had a 6 bedroom house, and my room was all the way at the top. I had a playroom. I had, you know, toys that little girls, wish, some little girls wasn't able to have. Like I had a playroom. I had a China tea set. Like I had stuff that little girls are supposed to have. And then my life took a turn for the worse um, when I turned 7 years old. I had play dates like At first, my life started off perfect from what I can remember.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, went on trips. I've, I mean, I've always been a traveler. I've always traveled all over the place, and I mean, that's my life was good until I started getting molested. And honestly, just me sitting here reflecting, that's when all the jealousy and all the craziness started at 7, the age 7. And um, my life path number is a 8. So it's like it started exactly, you know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense or if I'm making any sense, but
Yes, yes, it does. That's my daughter life path number, and she's been through some mental trauma by her family. She was always attacked when she was younger, had some of the same similar issues. That's my daughter's life path number. So yes, that does. It feels like you have a very, very old soul, a calling here. It must be very hard for you to go through all of that and, heal from all of that, and then yet you still have to be there for your mom. How do you deal with, taking care of your mom every day, knowing that, she's part of the reason that you have to heal from this trauma? How do you look at things in the viewpoint of that?
I'm glad you asked me that because I am definitely healing from her because I've had a chance to tell her before she's deteriorated as quickly as she has because she has Alzheimer's and dementia. So I was able to tell her how I felt, you know, and so that meant a lot to me. She tried to fight me or whatever, but like I told her, I said, you have no control over me anymore because I know that I was brought, I always tell myself to keep myself sane that I'm not of this world. And I was born into this karmic family to heal their trauma. That's why I was born because I don't talk to nobody in my family. Nobody, nobody knows Tiffany. Nobody's never wanted to sit down and get to know me. And that's fine because, like I said, I've done this on my own all my life. Uh, and excuse me a second. No, thank you. But I've had the chance to tell her how I feel before she got before her mental got as bad as it has. And that has helped me heal it. And me taking care of her has been very hard. However, it has showed me a different type of love. And I'm showing her the love that she couldn't show me.
Oh, girl, I just got chills when you said that. I literally just got chills when you said that because that's the same thing that I've been battling with as well. I've come from, my mom being on drugs and sending us with other people to live, that childhood trauma, and then we get this at this point of our lives and age, and then we have to take care of them. And like you said, it really does show you like that compassion. It embraces you for a whole different type of love, like you said. Like I just got chills when you said that because, that's what it really is about. Like even when our enemies kick us down and they throw us, and they antagonize us and they do all of that, it's like we still show compassion, we still show love, because that's our nature, earth angel energy, So I do like you're so brave. You look so amazing. Your energy feels so amazing. I'm so happy to hear that you're processing all of this and you're noticing it. Some people they live in it still and they don't change. They don't know how to change. They don't know how to get out of things like this. Can you tell me what was your breaking point to actually change your life? Because that was a lot. I'm not even gonna lie, Tiffany. That was a whole lot. I was like,
Hard. It This
yeah.
journey is not for the weak. That's for sure. This journey is not for the weak. And we have our ups and downs as far as my mother is concerned. But I have to be stern with her. I have to let her know, like, hey, I'm the only one. She has 2 daughters, and I'm the only one that stepped up to the plate. You know, and your other daughter, I seen her in a grocery store the other day. I said, when are you coming to see your mother? And so, like I tell her, like the things you're doing to me, I said, you're already paying for your consequences of how you treated me all your life. I said, and you're gonna make your death worse by treating me the way you're treating me because I'm the only one here for you. Like I talk to her, I tell her, like I have a voice now.
Yes.
I have my voice. This journey has taught me, with her anyway. Like I found my voice.
Because it was taken when you were a child. You know, you were innocent, and then they just take it from you going through that traumatic experience. You didn't, you couldn't say anything to anybody. You couldn't really share what you was going through or how you felt. And I'm so happy to hear that you're back. You're in your power. You're speaking your truth. You're sharing that light. So yeah, so now mom can't play with you now.
Nope, she sure can't, and she knows it too.
Yeah,
She
wow.
knows it. I have been trying to write a book about my life for the last 10 years. And every time I would write it and get this close to getting finished, someone would come and destroy my laptop. Now, can't nobody touch this laptop because I'm always at home, so I always see where it's at. You know what I mean? So this time I'm getting my story out there because I have been working on this book for the last 10 years. And I feel like me putting my story out here is going to help somebody and let them know, like, hey, if she went through all of that and she succeeded and she did not allow society's way of how they felt about her or anything, her family, to stop her from going for her goals, I know I can do it. There is light at the end of the tunnel. There
Yes.
is light,
Yes.
and it took me a long time to get here, but I'm here.
Yes, and I know you own. You was telling me that you own a business, a home healthcare business. Tell us, when did you start? When you decided to say this is something that I'm called to do, or that I want to actually do or walk in.
Um, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't really hear you. I don't know why my phone is doing that. Could you repeat that, please?
That's okay. And you have a healthcare agency, healthcare business. Tell us when you started that business. What made you get into it? When were you called to actually do it? Because that's exciting. That I love that too. I love taking care of others and nurturing and things like that. So that's really nice too.
I have been doing this for years, but what really pushed me to, because I'm still in the beginning phases of, getting my business together. Like I have my business license and everything, but now I'm at the phase uh, of getting the license for the bed. So that's where I'm at right now. However, but what made me do this is I took care of a man. I won't say his name, and this was just 2 years ago. And I met him because I was driving non-emergency medical transportation. And, we became very close and very good friends. And at this particular time, this man needed a place to stay. And Spirit put it, I had seen this guy 3 times, and that's not likely to happen when you're in that field driving like that. You don't pick up the same person all the time. And so I picked him up 3 times, and 3 separate times. And Spirit told me to help him, literally. And I helped him. I allowed him to move in with me. And he was on the heart transplant waiting list. So he had an LVAD that was keeping him alive.
Mm.
And so during this time, the 2 years that I helped him, I said, you know what? I want my own business.
Wow.
I want my own business. And that's what made me go so as hard as I'm going right now. And I got him well. I literally got him well. The doctors, we used to go to his appointment, they used to say, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. And I had him drinking herbal teas, and it wasn't sexual towards us, between us, but there was intimacy, if that makes sense.
Right.
Okay, so I remember when I had my baby at 12 years old and she was in the NICU, the nurses told me to take off my shirt because we had our own private room and skin to skin contact.
What? Wait a minute, Tiffany. So your relationship wasn't sexual, but it was intimate. Right. Okay. So yeah, because intimacy is not just sexual. And a lot of people get that misconstrued. They think that that is, and it's not. And wow, it sounds like your energy, your hands, your body, your glow, it's all healing. And a lot of people don't understand how to use that.
Hmm. And I used my energy to heal him with the herb, and I would take my shirt off, and I would let him know everything that I'm doing step by step, so he didn't feel any type of way. I made sure that he always felt comfortable, and I would lay next to him, and I would just hold him.
Oh, that's so sweet.
We became very close because he posted us on social media, and he was at the time divorced. Well, he remarried his ex-wife, and I told him, I said, your wife is coming back. And that's why I never crossed those boundaries.
Okay, okay, nice.
Even though I honestly fell in love with him, but I had to cut myself off so that he could go through what he needed to go through.
Yes. Wow. You was an angel in his life and you seen that. And see a lot. Oh my God. This is so like, oh my goodness. I love it. Where are you going to do your book? This is so beautiful. That's so amazing. You're such a sweetheart. Wow. And he actually married his wife again.
Yep, he married his wife again. They have a barbecue business here in Omaha, Nebraska. Thriving barbecue business. Yeah.
Wow, you saved his life. You were in his life for a reason. You saved his life.
I came exactly when I was supposed to.
Your mission, yes, that was your mission. That was your purpose. Wow. Oh my goodness. So you are in the right field. Like I commend you, Queen. I do. You are in the right field. This is like so. I just want to cry right there. I just, I do, because you know it's very rare that you meet people like you, that you hear people's stories like this, and you know, people, like I said, they go through things in their family dynamic or whatever their situation is, and you don't get to hear other people's stories. You don't get to see what other people are going through, and a lot of people feel alone. You know, even with the guy who just passed away, who killed himself, Twitch. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, you never know how your story could help somebody else and transform somebody else's life who's going through the same thing. And like, you know, I feel so emotional right now because I feel like your story is not as, you know, you have been through like so much. It's not like that, but at the same time, it's still a level of trauma that I've been through as well too. And my platform has allowed me to actually share my trauma and hear other people's trauma. And it's like, it's very healing. I feel like my healing process has like really like sped up because I'm able to have this platform and share my story and hear other stories like y'all as well too. Oh my God, and I commend you so much. You're so beautiful.
And so I was just approved for the beautiful home that I'm going to do my business out of. I got the news today, so I'm just really excited about my new journey. I did a releasing of my old self on the full moon we just had, and I released her. I told her thank you for getting me here. You know, I appreciated her for getting me to where I am now. But I didn't want to say I didn't need her anymore, but now I have to learn how to do things in a different way.
Yes, yes, nice.
I've always protected myself, you know. So
Same here, same here. I'm trying to learn how to get out of that as well too. Being so guarded and protective, but you know, I'm working on my heart chakra. That has been really helping me a lot as well.
And it feels so good to be able to speak with someone that knows what I'm talking about.
Yes, yes, I know. Listen, I hear everything. The life path, the full moon we just had in Gemini, that was a real big pivotal change. The eclipse we just had, yeah. So I'm excited for 2023. And you know, I've been writing my goals and things like that. So I totally understand. Yeah, I totally understand it. I'm going to give you 3 words, and when you hear these 3 words, I want you to tell me what you think when you hear these words. The first one is hope.
Hope. Hmm. Honestly, I don't use the word hope anymore because anything that I want to achieve or that I want in life, I get it. There's no hoping for nothing. I go get what I want.
Nice.
Whether it's peace, whether it's love, love of self, like I get it. So I don't hope for anything because it's already mine.
Okay. Period. Yes. Okay. The next one is hate.
Hate. Hate is a very strong word. However, I'm going to use this in a way. I hated the life that I was given, but I grew to love the life, the life that I am becoming.
Nice, nice, awesome. Yeah, because I feel like with hate, um, I feel like it's an unnecessary energy. And a lot of, yeah, it's a very unnecessary energy. And I feel like a lot of people, it's like the easy way out instead of understanding what you're emotionally trying to feel. And you're going and choosing hate when you can just go and choose to really sit down and emotionally feel why you're feeling like this. And so people, yeah, so people just go right to just being into the hate energy, being a hater, and it's like, no, where's that coming from? Why do you feel like that? So the next word is empower.
I am so powerful. I have learned my power. I receive it.
Receiving, yes, yes, yes. I received that. I received that. Yeah, your life is very empowering. Your story is very empowering. What do you feel like you want to do next? You have your healthcare agency. What do you want to do next?
Next, I want to start a home for women coming out of prison that don't have any family and need to get their children back. That's my next move.
Nice. Wow, I would love to help you with that. I really would. Yes. I didn't even get a chance for you to tell me about your story when you were in prison. We might have to revisit that. But how, like, just briefly, what was that like?
That was okay. So if there's a song and I can't remember the name of it, but who imagines going to prison as a little girl?
Yeah, yeah.
And it was because of the company I kept. It was my boyfriend at the time, and he was way older than me, of course. Very controlling. He would put me and my children in a basement, and in the house that we lived in, you had to have a key to get out the house. There was no
Okay.
way to get out. And so he would put me and my children in the basement with his daughter every time I would try to leave him. So I literally had to plan to get away from this dude. So he was the type of guy that would say, if I can't have you, can't nobody have you. And I literally, told me and his daughter, if Tiffany leaves me, I'm gonna break your arm. And he broke that baby's arm. So I had to cover her. I had to plan to get me and my 6 children and his daughter out of that house.
Wow.
So when I went to prison, I met his wife that I never knew he existed, but she knew about me.
What? Wow.
I got to prison. He lied and told the whatever they are, detectives or whatever, that I was the head ringleader and all this stuff. And I was like, what?
Oh my
I
God.
was all over the news. Literally, my aunt, my aunt in Georgia called my mother and said, "Please tell me that's not my baby." All over the news. I was like, all over what news? What did I know? So
Mm.
I had to turn myself in, and the thoughts that were going through my head at that time, I was so scared. I didn't know what was going to happen. I had when I turned myself in. Before I did that, I went Christmas shopping for my kids in plain sight. So mind you, I'm wanted. And they back then in the malls here in Nebraska, Omaha, Nebraska, they used to have this. As soon as you walk in one of the malls, they used to have this TV place, and it was TVs all over the place. So you seen my face. And at this time, it was during Christmas, and it was security, police everywhere. But I'm walking in plain sight, and they did not even notice me.
Wow.
And I was shopping for my children because I said, before I turn myself in, I'm going to make sure my children have something for Christmas.
Oh.
And I went and spent a lot of money making sure these babies had a Christmas. And I gave my mom some money to hold for me until I got out. She was supposed to take my children because I knew that I wasn't going to be going for long. And so she put my kids in foster care, kept my oldest daughter. Yep. Kept my oldest daughter and spent all the money because the money that I had her hold was the money that I was going to put towards a house when I got out.
Wow.
And it was all gone by the time I got home. And yeah, so that was an experience all in itself. And going to prison, honey, oh God, I was like, don't touch me. I was like, I do not belong here. And the caseworker that was assigned to me, she was like, what are you doing here? I said, you tell me. And so they've never seen somebody get sentenced 2 to 4 on burglary charges. And I wasn't even there 3 months, and they sent me to the work release back in Omaha, Nebraska. I got in a little trouble. They sent me back to prison because I was a little, well, ain't no a little, but I hadn't been around a guy, so I seen the guys, and I kind of hooked up with one and got in trouble and got sent back to the prison. Got sent back to the prison, and they sent me right back out. So somebody tried to set me up at the work release. They sent me back thinking they got me in trouble, but I was only back in prison for a week, and they sent me back to the work release, and a week later, I was paroled.
Wow. I'm just hearing you and talk, and I'm like, she was protected the entire time. You were literally covered by God the entire time, all of this you're going through. It was for you to see, for you to experience, for you to grow from it, and this is what you needed to go into this next phase of your life. But you were protected the entire time. Wow. Yes.
And they said they had never seen that happen ever. And the women there were so upset that I got paroled. They were like, how did she get paroled, and how did she get back here so fast? I should have got time for being in that guy's room. That's an extra 5 years added to your time. Did nothing happen.
Wow, that's a miracle. That's a miracle.
When they sent me back, I said, I told you don't send me down there.
That's a miracle, Tiffany. That is definitely a miracle. Oh my goodness, beautiful. I cannot wait till you do the book. Okay, please keep me posted with everything. Anything I could do to help, anything with working with the women from prison, anything like that, please reach out to me. I do want to help, okay? Okay. Thank you, and I appreciate you coming here. It was an honor. I'm so happy to hear this story. You are such a blessing, not to just my life, but people who you probably don't even realize life. You're such a blessing. Yes, so thank you. I appreciate having you. Have a beautiful and blessed day. Namaste. Bye-bye.